In today's video, I'm going to show you the backtest results of an MACD or MACD trading strategy that a viewer of mine asked me to program and test. It's pretty simple to trade and it's supposed to work on all different time frames, which we'll find out later. This strategy has already been backtested manually on a 30-minute chart of euro dollar, and the guys actually tested it over the past 100 trades. I'll also talk a little bit more about the problems with manual backtesting later too. Firstly, we'll go over the rules of the strategy, then we'll get straight into the test results to see whether my test results are comparable to the ones that my viewer saw elsewhere. I'll then conclude the video by sharing my 3 takeaways with regards to making money from this strategy, or any other mechanical strategy in fact. We'll go over to the computer now where I'll show you how to take the trades and what they look like on the charts. On this first chart then, let's talk about how the strategy actually works. I've mentioned that we're using MACD or MACD, and we're looking at the 2 lines, okay? So we're ignoring the histogram, we're just looking at these 2 lines, and the signal comes when these 2 lines cross. Now, we're using this red line here is a 200 exponential moving average, and we're using that as a filter. So we're only going to take long trades if the price is above the 200 period moving average, and we're only taking short trades when the price is below the 200 period moving average. Now, for a long trade, we want price to be above the average, and then we're looking at the MACD lines, and when this yellow line crosses above its average, the cyan line, that is when we take the trade. See, we've initiated a buy trade, we've gone long there. However, we must only take long trades if this cross happens below the 0 line. This is the middle 0 green line. The trades must happen below that, okay? So we can see we've bought and we've hit the stop loss. Now I'm using an ATR stop loss. I'm actually using 2 times the average true range, using the standard 14 period for the average true range. And you can see it stopped out here, and it does a pretty good job of getting stopped out near the recent lows, looking back over the past few bars. This is a 30-minute time frame, and all the tests are going to be done from 2008 through till February 2021, so a decent sample size. Let's look at the next trade. Now, price is just above that 200 moving average, so we can go long. We've got the crossover of the yellow and the cyan line on the MACD, and the MACD lines are below 0, so that's our initiated trade to go long. And you can see here we've hit a profit target. Now, the profit target is 1.5 times the risk, so we're risking 1 to make 1.5 times, and that'll be more clear when I show you some of the results a little bit later. Now, the short trades are just opposite. As you can imagine, we want to see prices closed below the 200 period exponential moving average. We want to see a crossover. This one's not too obvious to see, but here, see the yellow line has crossed over the cyan line, so that the yellow line's crossed over its average, and the MACD lines are above the 0 line. Okay, so we're not taking trades when the crosses are below the 0 line, we're taking them only when they're above. So just the opposite rules for taking the long trades. Now, the original test which my viewer showed me, the person that actually tested this, he tested it back going 100 trades back, and he was using a starting capital of $10,000, and he was using a fixed risk, which is a little bit strange, but he was using a fixed risk of 1%, and obviously the reward would be 1.5%. So it's quite simple. You either lose 1% or you make 1.5%. And that's what I've programmed into this strategy as well. I don't normally test like that. I don't normally include position sizing into the early stages of developments, but for this one, because I wanted to replicate or see if my results replicated the other man's, then that's what I've done. So let's have a look at the results on this 30-minute chart. So here's the equity curve of this strategy on the 30-minute chart, and you can see these green dots represent new highs in equity. We have a starting capital here of $10,000, and you can see from, this is 2008 down here, and we can see it's a money losing strategy all the way until around trade 1450, and from then on it actually had a recent spurt which didn't look too bad. If we take a quick look at the actual trades made, here we can see that for every losing trade that we see in red, we've lost $100, 100, 100, 100. Then for every winning trade in black, we've made, well, roughly $150. Okay, that's our 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. I must also mention as well that these results don't show any trading costs like slippage or commission, but we'll add some of those in later so we can see how they impact the strategy too. Next, what I want to do is run the data from around this low point here to the most recent point. So we're only looking at this recent uptrending part of the equity curve. So if we go to the next workspace and look at the data, we've gone from the 1st of August 18 till February 2021. Let's have a look at the results for that one. And there's the equity curve, which doesn't look too bad. Now, perhaps this is what the original person who tested this, perhaps this is the sort of thing he was faced with and he was looking at. Perhaps this is why he thought it might actually be a profitable strategy. But we still don't have any trading costs put into this, and they can make a dramatic effect on the results that we get. So let's add those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 pips in and 2 pips out, so quite realistic trading costs. And let's see what that does to the equity curve. And look what that does to the equity curve. So this was about the only period within this test from 2008 that actually looked reasonable before we added costs. And now look what's happened when we've added costs. It's completely fallen apart and not something that any of us would want to be trading. However, we were told that this strategy works on all time frames. So the obvious thing to do next, let's have a look at another time frame. And that gives us this chart here. We're going to look at the hourly time frame. And this is showing us the equity curve for the full data from 2008 through till February 2020. And again, we've got a recent little uptrend for a small period of time, but essentially up until this point here, which it was working reasonably well, and then it had a good few years that worked really badly. So again, we haven't got any trading costs, so let's put those in now to see how that impacts that curve. And look what it does to the equity curve again. It completely ruins it. Shows us that it's not something that works in real time once we've introduced trading costs. It was also mentioned that this works on US dollar, Japanese yen as well. So maybe it works better on that. So here's a chart of USDJPY. It's a 30-minute chart. So let's have a look at the equity curve. And if this is our starting equity, we can see that it's negative all the way. Again, it's had some decent periods, some bad periods, but overall, not something that we want to be trading. And if we introduce trading costs to this strategy, the trading costs are slightly different because we're dealing with yen now, not dollars. The equity curve only gets worse. So money losing strategy the whole way on dollar yen on a 30-minute chart. And on the last workspace I want to look at, I thought let's give it a bit more of a chance. We've got a daily chart here, or a 1440-minute chart, and we've got a 240-minute or a 4-hour chart to see how those results look. So this is the 4-hour chart. Again, there are some good periods and some bad periods, but once we've added trading costs, you've guessed it, the performance is only going to get worse. So let's add in these trading costs. And although the equity curve is quite similar, they have only got worse. Notice how the trading costs have a lesser impact the higher the time frame. That's because we're in trades longer and we can capture bigger moves, so the trading costs have less of an impact. Nevertheless, it's not a particularly nice looking equity curve. And the last one we look at is on the daily chart. And that's what the daily chart equity curve looks like. So it went negative quite quickly, went back positive, negative again, just going sideways over that 13-year period. And that's without trading costs either. Now the next thing that I'm sure you might be asking yourself is, what about this stop loss value? I'm using a 2 times average true range. And what about the reward? I'm using a 1.5 times the risk. Are there some better values to use? Well, initially I wanted to try and replicate the other test results that the other person actually documented. So that's why I was using the 1.5 and the 2 times ATR stop loss. But those inputs aren't necessarily the best ones. So I have had a play around and have run some optimizations. If you've seen other videos of mine, you'll know how I can go through optimizations using the software quite easily. But I'm not going to bore you with those today. All I can tell you is nothing particularly worked well. Nothing produced a smooth enough equity curve with a big enough edge to overcome trading costs. So believe me, I have tested those things out. Just before I get into the 3 key takeaways from this type of video and this type of strategy, if you're finding this useful and you're enjoying it, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel too. To conclude then, we've established that over a long period of time, this strategy doesn't have an edge, and we've tried it out on different time frames, and we've also tried it out on dollar yen on the 30-minute time frame. And it especially doesn't have an edge when you introduce real life trading costs. Now let's talk about the 3 key takeaways that I've got for you from creating this report and this video. Takeaway number 1 is most strategies, I want to say any, or most strategies can look good over a certain period of time. We saw in the backtest report, looking at the equity curve over 13 years, there were times within that 13 years where the strategy did look good. The original tester tested 100 trades. Now that 100 trades was probably less than a year's worth on a 30-minute time frame. So he happened to be lucky enough to test a period that probably did work quite well. But for me, it's not so much the number of trades that you've tested, it's the duration or the period that you've tested. So, I'm always testing well over a 10-year period. Some strategies might only trade 10 times a year, and testing 10 years, that will be only 100 trades. But at least we're looking over a long period of time, taking ourselves through different phases of that market. So key takeaway number 2 is strategies, especially on an intraday time frame, like a 30-minute or a 60-minute chart, rarely produce decent results just by taking crossovers of like the moving average and the MACD line. It's rarely that simple. Even if you did find something that worked consistently, then once you've applied real life trading costs, it probably wouldn't work. Finding decent trading strategies is just not that easy. However, if you are looking at those types of strategy, you probably do have more chance on the larger, like the daily time frames, because then you haven't got to worry too much about being eaten up by those real life trading costs. And the third key takeaway to this type of test or this type of strategy is you must have solid rules, ideally rules that can be programmed into a mechanical or an automated backtest like this. The guy who originally tested this strategy over those 100 trades, he was testing them manually, and unfortunately it's far too easy to skip some of the bad trades when you're testing them manually, and then you'll end up with just a false backtest. And then in real life you're not going to skip those. In real life you're probably going to end up skipping some good trades and taking some of the bad trades that you might have skipped in the backtest. So either be very, very careful and very strict when you're manually backtesting to test every trade, or program it, put it into some sort of testing software so that the computer won't cheat for you. And that's it, guys. That's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope this video has saved some of you guys throwing money at a losing strategy that clearly doesn't work. Look out for future videos where I go over strategies that do work, or look over some of my recent videos. There's a lot of strategy videos on my channel which I think you'll find very useful. And until the next one, this is Jared Goodwin, and thank you.